Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WDW After Dark. It is the vidcast that covers all things Disney. And when I say all things Disney, I mean Disney parks, Disney Cruise Line, Disney food, Disney merchandise, Marvel, Star Wars, you name it, we are talking about it. And we're doing it every single week right here on Blab. We're also doing it over on YouTube and, of course, on iTunes and Stitcher, all that stuff. We definitely appreciate you taking the time to stop and check out the show. We've got a good one lined up for this week. This is our Disney discussion show for this week. And there are some rumors that have been kind of flying around a little bit that we're going to talk about when it comes to Epcot. And that's the park that a lot of people think Disney has forgotten about a little bit. But before I do that, I need to just do a little bit of housekeeping. And we're going to do that as far as sponsors. When I talk about sponsors, we talk about vacations, whether it be Disney parks, Disney Cruise Line, Adventures by Disney, so much more. You need to check out magicaljourneysvacations.com and check out Kristen Hetzel, who is right there. Talk to her about your next vacation if you're looking for great advice, good planning, all the stuff that you need to make your vacation fantastic and memorable. Talk to Kristen, magicaljourneysvacations.com. Also, Amazon. You know, the holidays are coming up. Yeah, it's only 6 months away. Start shopping now. You can do it via WDW After Dark on the links that we have, and check out Amazon. All you have to do is just click Amazon, start your shopping, buy anything that you need at discounted rates, and get it fast, especially if you're an Amazon Prime member or anything like that. But check out Amazon for all of your shopping needs for things that you might want, or you just feel that you have to have for yourself. It does not matter. Check out Amazon.com. And if you're looking to check out the next Disney movie, Star Wars movie, Marvel movie, it doesn't matter what movie you want to watch, and you want your advance tickets before anybody else, guaranteed to get a ticket if you do it ahead of time. Do it via Fandango. Use the link over at wdwafterdark.com is where you need to go, because each time you click on Magical Journeys Vacations, not only do you help out Kristen, but you help out WDW After Dark as well. It gives a little bit back to us so that we're able to do this show each and every week. So we definitely appreciate it when you guys do all that. So check out those sponsors at wdwafterdark.com.
WDW After Dark, now loading.
WDW After Dark. WDW After Dark. Live and uncensored. Starring Jeff Davis, Al John Go, Kristen Hetzel, and Eric Allen. WDW After Dark is live and uncensored. Call the hotline at 410-98-WDW-AD. Follow us on Facebook at WDW After Dark Webcast and Twitter at WDW After Dark. Headline news, Disney food, video games, Marvel and Star Wars. WDW After Dark. Live and uncensored. And now prepare yourself for WDW After Dark.
To the talking heads, as Al John likes to call them. We've got two of them, along with myself. Hi, I'm Jeff. Nice to see you. Since she laughed at me first, I get to talk about her first. She is one of the co-hosts of WDW Tiki Room Show over on Sorcerer Radio at srsounds.com. She is also the host of the Dining at Disney podcast. She has the website Dining at Disney. She is also an author for your upcoming food and wine information. She's got a book on that and all kinds of stuff. Kristen Hetzel. Kristen, thanks for coming on the show tonight. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Oh. You have the Dining at Disney podcast. What's coming up on that?
Well, let's see. Well, I'm not sure what we're going to be talking about on the next episode yet. But the past two episodes, we talked with Pam Brandon. So we talked about Shanghai Disneyland and the dining options there and what the food is like. So you can always download that episode. And then we also discussed the Epcot Food and Wine Festival preview that I went to last month. So you can
And I
check
heard that
out
was
as
a
well.
pretty tasty trip, wasn't it?
It was. And I am so excited. I just cannot wait.
I love food and wine. Not going to lie. Love food and wine. Don't like the escargot, but I love food and wine. So check out Kristen's podcast, Dining at Disney. And also check her out for the WDW Tiki Room show every Friday on Sorcerer Radio at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Also joining us is Mr. Eric Allen. He is the Beaver, as we like to call him sometimes, host of the Sorcom Review on Sorcerer Radio at srsounds.com, and also one of the co-hosts of Mighty Marvel Geeks. If you're into the Marvel universe and comics and everything else, you want to check out Mighty Marvel Geeks as far as the podcast and everything goes. Eric, what do you guys have coming up on Mighty Marvel Geeks?
Well, considering as this weekend is the New Year's Day, the start of the International Geek Year would be San Diego Comic-Con. We will more than likely be giving a recap of Marvel news and stories that have come out at that point. Now you can hear us on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sorcerer Radio at srsounds.com, or you can also subscribe to us on iTunes, and you get it on Sunday morning, and it downloads at 6:16 a.m. And that's kind of a little Easter egg inside joke, because the dimension of the Marvel universe is Earth 616.
Oh, okay. I never knew that.
Well, now you do. You were not careful, and you learned something.
I learned something new Marvel every time I talk to you, and you and Aljon and everything, because I'm just not up to speed on all that stuff. So make sure you check out Dining at Disney podcast. Make sure you check out Mighty Marvel Geeks podcast. Check them out. Give them a listen. I guarantee that you're going to love them, and you'll continue to listen to every episode after that. We definitely appreciate it. And also, remember to listen to Eric Allen Tuesday mornings, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Sorcerer Radio at srsounds.com for the Sorcom Review. Now we get into our Disney discussion.
WDW After Dark presents Disney Discussion, a roundtable panel.
Last week on the show, we ended with the news segments, and I talked about a current rumor that has been going around the Disney communities, and that's all of them. That's not just the Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone. It's all of them. Everybody's talking about this, and it was the rumor that Ellen's Energy Adventure, the old Universe of Energy, which was there when Epcot first opened, was going to be shut down and either gutted or it's going to be refurbished to include the Guardians of the Galaxy, those Marvel characters from that fantastic movie that came out. It was a sleeper. Nobody expected it. Not even I expected it. Not even Miley expected it. And it was a huge
I expected it.
Huge.
I
Yeah, Eric,
expected
of course, expected. Aljon even expected it. Mike, I mean, seriously. I know you're excited about it, but give me a break. So the thing is...
She likes the fact that there is a raccoon with a machine gun.
Obviously. The problem we all have always seen is the fact that Disney is having a problem getting Marvel characters into the parks because of this crazy contract with Universal Orlando and so much more. But we always thought that there were loopholes for certain characters, and it could seem like Guardians of the Galaxy could be those characters that have a loophole where they can get them into the Disney parks. And so that was a big rumor last week, and it's carrying on into this week. Now, it's not just that. It's also Frozen Ever After that has come into the Epcot Park in the World Showcase, and a few other things. So that's what we're going to talk about during the show today. Eric has got some rumors that he wants to talk about, things that have been seen. Like I said, we're going to talk about Frozen Ever After, some of the attractions we think that are, pretty much needing an update or needing to be gutted or something, anything. Going to do a roundtable on this. We're going to talk in the chat room as well with those guys, see what their comments are. So we're interested to hear all of your information that you think might happen. All of your theories, if you're a Disney Imagineer or anything else. So, Eric, go ahead and give me what the latest is in the last 24 hours that has happened with Epcot. Okay.
Okay. The latest thing to come out of Epcot is that Disney is reportedly doing what's called balloon tests around the Universe of Energy Pavilion. Now, what that is, for those of you who don't know, they use balloons to go up to certain heights to see what structures of that height would do to impact the view. Like for instance, we know that the Expedition Everest over at Animal Kingdom, they would use balloon tests to go to basically as tall as the top of the mountain.
Okay.
And just see, it's like, okay, well, I'm standing in Dinoland, USA right here. Can I see it? Yes, I can see it. And I go over here to Camp Mini Mickey. Heck no, I can't see it. That sort of thing. So that's what the Imagineers do when they want to test if we build X building this high, where can you see it? Where can't you see it? Is that a problem? Et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Now, it's kind of funny because we're hearing all these rumors swirling around, and Universe of Energy is not the first place that has been rumored to get a Guardians of the Galaxy themed makeover.
You're right. Yeah.
Before that, it was Mission Space.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, it was the Tower of Terror at Disneyland. People. And of those three locations, really, Mission Space is the one that makes the most sense to me because it's space travel.
Right.
You cannot convince me that a ride that has an elevator that goes up and down out of control has any bearing on any part of the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So I never really considered that one to have a whole lot of credibility.
Sure. Yeah.
Now this comes on the heels of an article from Theme Park Tourist. And I say on the heels, but it actually came out the end of May, where they give out the numbers, the attendance report from TEA AECOM. They are not meant to be accurate. Well, they don't know that they're exact because these are mainly self-reported statistics and publicly available financial reports. It's not a concrete number, but they give it a good ballpark figure. Yeah. Okay. Of course, this is from 2015. Of course, Magic Kingdom is the #1 attended theme park in America.
Sure.
With almost 20.5 million. Disneyland is second place with 18.3 million. Epcot, believe it or not, Epcot is still number 3 with 11.8 million. Then you've got Disney's Animal Kingdom, Disney's Hollywood Studios. Then you've got Universal Studios, Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
And number 7 is the lowest Disney park is Disney's California Adventure.
Kristen, I want to know if you agree with me on this.
Okay.
Would you say that 11.8 million is because of Food and Wine and then Flower and Garden every single year that people go and actually see? That's the only reason?
I think so. Think of the mass number of people that are there. I mean, just go on a Saturday or Sunday during Food and Wine or Flower and Garden and wait 30 minutes to get one bite of food. I mean, it's
that's
crazy.
true. Yeah.
Well,
I do not go ever on the weekends. Like I did it. The last time I went was in 2011.
Yeah.
And since then I'm like, I refuse to. I am not going to go and deal with the madness of the locals all being there. It's just too crazy. So I go during the week.
It's funny that you mentioned that because in this same article, one of the conclusions that they draw from these figures is that festivals aren't enough to give a meaningful boost to Epcot. Because, yes, it's still the number 3 attended theme park in America. Yes, it still had almost 11.2 million people. That is, it's the smallest amount of growth of all the Disney parks. California Adventure had fully twice the amount of growth percentage-wise.
Yeah.
Basically, they only grew, and I say only because this still sounds like a lot, only 300,000 visitors. So it's a case of, yes, they're beefing up the festivals, but, and I think this is a valid point, the festivals cannot be your attendance answer for Epcot indefinitely.
When you say Epcot,
and the thing is think that's 6 months out of the year now.
Yeah, it is.
Festivals going on.
Yeah,
you have
that's right.
63 days, and there was like something like 90 days for the other. That's 5 months.
Pretty much half the year.
And then
is
you
a
have
festival.
December. Then you have December. Well, starting at like halfway into November through December. Then you have the holiday season where you have holidays around the world. Right. So that's another thing.
Right.
So you're spending more than 6 months a year with something special going on in Epcot to drive people. And unless you knew what it was like before they started these, like, being as massive as they are now, there was a huge difference. And I would say the easiest way to compare it is this past year was the 3rd year for Flower and Garden to have food. There's a big crowd difference now than what there was before they had that.
Yeah. Everybody loves food. Yeah. You can't go wrong when you're everybody eats and you're giving them something new to experience, and they're not going to pass that up.
But this was the 20th year of the Food and Wine. This coming one will be the 21st year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't keep going to the well like this. And I think Disney knows that.
Here's what bothers me. And this is what brings in The Seas with Nemo and Friends. This is what brings in Frozen Ever After. And now possibly Guardians of the Galaxy. Kristen, what does Epcot stand for? What does Epcot mean? Specifically as
Oh my
Walt
gosh.
said. Come on.
I know what it means. Why do you have to ask me?
Come on.
Experimental prototype community of tomorrow.
Exactly.
My brain went blank for a second when you put me on the spot. I was like,
I'm so proud of you.
There's nothing in there.
Don't you hate it when that happens and you know what it is and it just goes, it's right out of your brain right then and there.
Everything goes blank. There's like nothing, like no.
Walt's vision for this park was exactly what the word Epcot means. Okay. And this discussion came up first when The Seas with Nemo and Friends, the Living Seas, was refurbished to include Nemo and everybody from Finding Nemo. Then it got even worse when you took away Maelstrom in Norway, got rid of it, and replaced it with the characters from Frozen. It became Frozen Ever After. Now, you're taking Universe of Energy, which obviously goes along with the theming of Epcot itself. And you're wanting to put in Marvel characters, Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't want to say this as it is happening, but it could happen. Are we looking at a possible complete retheming of the entire park as it not being Epcot anymore? Because there comes to a point to where it's not what the name says it's supposed to be and what it means in the first place and why Disney Imagineers built it. Are we getting to that point when we start bringing in all these other characters?
We got to that point in 2007.
Okay.
The reason I say that is for Epcot went from 1982 when it opened to 2007 without an attraction featuring established Disney characters. Okay. That changed when El Rio del Tiempo was reopened as the Grand Fiesta Tour starring the Three Caballeros.
Okay.
All right. And later in 2009, you had Kim Possible World Showcase Adventure. But see, I did not have really that much of a problem with it then, because you still kept to some adherence to the original vision of Epcot, because you had the characters exploring the actual country.
Yeah.
Okay. And that, at least you had like Three Caballeros in Mexico when the seas opened in what was it, 2009? No, it wasn't 2009. It was 2006. I'm sorry. That was the perfect place to put Nemo and Dory and Marlin and all of them, because, well, it was the seas.
Yeah.
Really, I think where the line has been crossed was with Frozen Ever After, because it's not Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, and all of them exploring Norway. No, it's welcome to Arendelle. Arendelle does not exist on a map.
Okay.
It is not an actual country. So I see the logic in what Disney has done, because they know festivals are not enough to keep people coming.
Sure.
And with Universal and Islands of Adventure continuing to up their game by selling their soul to Harry Potter, but that's neither here nor there. However it is, they are upping the game, and they are raising the bar. So Disney's like, we've got to bring people in.
Sure. Yeah.
What brings people in right now? You could put Elsa's face on a pile of dog poo and people would buy it.
Wow. That's bold.
I'm telling you, it's like Elsa poo, frozen Elsa poo, and they would buy it.
Somebody hashtag that, please.
So I think when we have, of course, we have Soarin' Over the World that just reopened back in June, and Frozen Ever After in June. I think a year from now, you're going to see a significant upturn in attendance. And Disney is going to look at this and use it to justify moving further and further away from the original spirit of the park. So you're not going to have Aladdin and Jasmine in, exploring Morocco. No, you're going to have an Agrabah ride. You're going to have stuff like that. And they're going to get increased attendance, but it will be at the cost of, God, this sounds like really, what's the word? It sounds melodramatic, but you're increasing attendance at the cost of the soul of the park.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think one other contribution, which also was part of the start, and the two of you let me know if you think I'm right or wrong on this, was when the original attraction World of Motion, which took a look at the history of motion, as part of the human race. And it also looked at a portion of the future of what technology is bringing us and what it's possible in doing, changing it to Test Track. Even though we love Test Track, don't get me wrong, it is a fantastic attraction, but wasn't very future-like until now, of course, where you know, build your car on a little screen. It doesn't make a damn difference whatsoever. The ride is still going to do the same thing no matter what. But I think it kind of started with that. I don't blame Horizons too much because there were structural problems with that building, and there was no real reason to do any updates or anything, refurbish it. That's why Mission Space came around. But then I look at also the deterioration of what Interventions has become.
Oh, gosh.
Sure, we've got all of these fantastic festivals with brand new foods, brand new wines, brand new topiaries and flowers and butterflies and all this wonderful stuff. But two major buildings, which are part of the central hub of what is Future World, that is what it's called, Future World, is steadily becoming a warehouse for, on one side, Disney characters. It's become the Disney Character Fun Stop, where you go to get your pictures with Mickey and the gang and everything else. The other side, which at one time was Communicore, which showed brand new technologies, rethemed into Interventions, which again started showing newer technologies, new things to experience. But now, one by one, each exhibit starts to shut down. They start putting video games in there just to bring people inside. And you've got, I don't know how many now, what, 2 or 3 active exhibits inside of Interventions, if that?
It's something like that. I just walked through both of those. Yeah. Was it last month? And yeah, there's nothing in them. The one,
nothing.
It's like all you can do is walk in and do the character picture.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Disney.
And there's bathrooms.
Yeah.
It has become a spot for people to sit in the hallway and charge their cell phones. That's what it's become because it's air conditioned and then they can sit down for a while. You got Club Cool over there. Understandable. Everybody loves Beverly. But
everybody loves making other people drink Beverly.
Oh, yeah. There used to be stuff on...
Tony Casanova from Disney Parks Podcast. He actually likes Beverly. Or as he says, I don't mind Beverly. I don't think it's awful. He was actually talking about it earlier.
I can't. No.
He can't even.
I can't. No. I drink it because it's tradition. It's tradition. If you don't have Beverly when you go, then why go? It's pointless. You've got to have some Beverly. Just saying. But the thing is, you include Interventions, East and West, into all of this. Then you take a look at attractions that are hurting. One of the attractions that's been hurting, Universe of Energy. Ellen's Energy Adventure has been the same for
1996. Yes, it would be 20 years. 20 years.
20 years.
That's when it became Ellen's Energy Adventure, was 1996.
You've got that. Then you've got Journey into Imagination with Figment, which everybody despises. Not only because they lost
it. I miss Dreamfinder and I miss
Thank you.
Figment
Yes,
being in there more often.
That's it. Exactly.
If they removed Figment, it would be, why would you go?
It would be demolish the building if you remove Figment. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Okay. So that it has not shown any TLC whatsoever. They threw Captain EO in there as a filler for almost 10 years after his death?
Mm-hmm.
It was there for a while.
It was because of his death that they brought it back.
Well, yeah, that was the reason why they did it. But now they're showing Disney shorts. Oh, my gosh, get excited like you can't watch those on Netflix while you're at home. I don't need to walk into there to see them. I watched them. They were okay. I don't need to see them at Epcot.
YouTube on my phone.
YouTube.
So 6 years. They brought it back for about 6 years because he died June 25th of 2009.
Yeah. So you've got all of this different stuff. But the problem is we cannot rely on, like Kristen said, we cannot rely on 2 festivals and holidays around the world to keep things going over at Epcot. She was right when she said that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely right. So now we want to bring in Guardians of the Galaxy. Where does that fit in Future World?
That's what I was thinking. Like, how are you going to tell some story using the Guardians about energy or something else? Or are they going to completely throw away the educational factor, which is what Future World pretty much has become? It's not really futuristic anymore, but still has educational qualities to it.
They made it work with Nemo.
But that's just throwing like some fish into the fish tank. I mean, that's a lot easier way to make that work.
They made it work, though.
Yeah.
But Guardians of the Galaxy, this is not like, this is so.
Even Mission Space falls into the educational. Give me 1 second, Eric.
Okay.
Even Mission Space falls into the educational category of learning what it's like to be in space. Okay, yeah, it's just a simulator. Understandable. But there's still an educational value to it. Mm-hmm. Not only before the attraction, during the attraction, and after the attraction. It still works in a way for Test Track. It shows you educational points. Soarin', not so much. It's just a fantastic attraction. The land, definitely. Living with the land is very educational. Spaceship Earth, very educational. What's educational about Guardians of the Galaxy?
Learning that a raccoon can hold a machine gun.
Oh, that works. And you've got a talking tree that just says,
I am Groot.
Thank you. Explain where the experimental prototype community of tomorrow falls into that.
How one day they will be able to have talking raccoons by conducting experiments on them. There we go.
Cybernetics. That's
cybernetics.
That's the reason that Rocket is a raccoon that can walk upright, talk, and hold a machine gun.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently holding for further traffic clearance.
Check out Kristen's new website, magicaljourneysvacations.com, for all your vacation needs. Disney, Universal, cruise lines, and more.
Thank you for traveling with us.
magicaljourneysvacations.com. Have her book your magical vacation today.
You were chomping at the bit. What was it?
Okay. I will say that the Guardians of the Galaxy, if it fits anywhere in the current Future World, it's in Mission Space. Because it deals with space travel. Peter Quill was kidnapped by aliens and brought into space.
Yeah.
That's a reach. I really think, though, the agreement with Universal and Marvel, until that is resolved clearly, completely, and publicly, you're not going to see Guardians at Disney World. I just don't see it. So, but you ask where that would be. Let's keep in mind that the layout of Future World, if you're standing in the entrance and you're looking at Spaceship Earth, on your left with Mission Space, Test Track, Universe of Energy, you notice things are more angular, straight edges. They focus more on technological achievements. That is the overall theme.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Over on the right-hand side, you see more flowing lines, more organic structures. It is nature. That's why you have the land and you have the seas. Don't ask me how imagination fits into nature.
Not even a clue.
Human
Not
body.
even a clue.
It's in your brain.
Then it should have gone over next to Wonders of Life.
That it should have been Wonders of Life.
But here's what I'm looking at.
Okay, right there. You, Eric, why can't we utilize the space for Wonders of Life instead?
Okay, I'll tell you why. Because 6 months out of the year It's used as a festival center.
And this is where I kick it to Kristen right here. Okay, I understand this is a festival center. I understand they do a lot of cooking in there, horticulture, all this other different stuff. But isn't there something called the Old Odyssey restaurant where you can do stuff like that and hold those type of things and then use that space for something that is actually worth using?
But think now they're using that for craft beers.
Oh, gosh, you could do craft beers on the World Showcase, for crying out loud.
I think, well, it seems to me there's got to be, why not have it, and I know they use the World Show Place, which is that pavilion that kind of doesn't really exist in a way. The one that's in between the UK and Canada that
it's like Narnia,
right? Yeah.
Maybe they should just add that, Eric.
Why not use that? I know that they do the big events in there, but it seems like there's got to be a better way to do that than to use
perhaps, but
the
at
wonders
this
of
point,
life. And it's so far off from the rest of the festival too.
At this point, I don't see them doing anything to Wonders of Life other than make it officially a festival center. It's always been a de facto one. The only thing I say, give it a fresh coat of paint, take down the Wonders of Life signs, and bingo, you've got the festival center. That's why they've been using it. The big double helix thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Make it look better than what it does, because it looks like crap.
So here's what I'm looking at. You take a look at the other pavilions, just about all of them have gotten some kind of attention in the past decade or so.
Yeah.
Except for Interventions, which technically Interventions has. It's just not been a massive, strategically motivated overhaul. Okay. They'll bring in new exhibits and stuff periodically, but outside of that, you've got Universe of Energy, and you've got Imagination.
Don't forget Spaceship Earth.
Spaceship Earth got the revamp when it was.
Got the revamp.
It's got a revamp.
Yeah.
So basically, if they do anything, it's going to involve one of those two. Personally, though, my money is on Imagination. If you see a pavilion bulldozed, I think it's going to be that one.
Even after the money they just spent to put a DVC lounge on the second floor of Imagination?
You can stick a freaking lounge anywhere.
That is true.
They can put it in the festival center, Jeff.
They seriously could have put it in the festival center. Thank you.
Yes. I mean, I just look at it as they've had 3 different incarnations of the ride, and the last 2 just have not brought in the crowds. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the original Dreamfinder, it was a trippy, funky, drug fest hallucination kind of thing, but it was cool. It was an Omni movie. It brought people in. They take it down. They refurbish it to a more traditional look. They take Figment out, and promptly 2 years later, it's back up again. It's a new version, and we have Figment. Please don't hurt us.
It's still not what it used to be.
Still not what it used to be. You don't see a Figment meet and greet there anymore, which you have in the last 15 years. I know that.
Yeah.
They had the Magic Eye Theater that became Captain EO, which became Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, which came back to being Captain EO, and now is Disney Shorts. It's like, we don't know what to do with this pavilion.
You know what they should do? They should completely reimagine it use some of the things that people liked from the original attraction.
Yeah.
Tear down Wonders of Life, move Imagination over there. Then build a new center that is always a festival center in the current location of the Imagination Pavilion, because that is near. You've got that little short walkway that takes you right over there.
Right there by the World Showcase. Yeah.
It's right in the middle. I like that idea.
I like that. I like that. Okay. We got about 10 minutes left, okay, before we start closing up. We've talked about all the negatives of what Disney has done with the lack of attention to this park. It's obvious. It has not shown in the numbers. It's still being, like Eric said, number 3, 11.8 million. We chalk that up to festivals, food and wine, flower and garden, holidays around the world, okay? If possible, I want to just touch on the positives of what Disney has done by implementing characters into Epcot, okay? First, it was Nemo. Well, I'm sorry. Technically, Mexico. It's always a walk-on attraction. Let's just be honest, okay? Didn't make that big of an impact. Then you go to Nemo. Had a huge, huge drawing because Nemo was still relatively new. Now it is, again, another walk-on pretty much attraction. Now you have got Frozen Ever After, Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, all those guys, 3+ to 4 hour wait to get on the attraction.
Insane.
Totally crazy, okay? But what it's doing, and it's brought people into the park. It's bringing more people into the park. I guarantee you attendance is going to go up this year for Epcot simply because of Frozen Ever After. So if they did put Guardians of the Galaxy in there, that's another plus. That's another plus, and that's something that Epcot needs. The entire park, the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle, everything needs to be freshened. That little area of Universe of Energy and Wonders of Life, you barely know it's there because the vegetation has grown so tall, it almost covers it up. If you're standing over by Mission Space, you don't even see it.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Frozen Ever After, currently a 75-minute wait.
Even at 9:30 at night, 75-minute wait.
9:30 at night.
Wow.
What are some of the other positives you guys think could possibly come out of more characters at Epcot?
I don't have an issue with characters in Epcot. Let me just say that right here, right now. Provided it's still keeping the educational context. I didn't mind Grand Fiesta because they were exploring Mexico. I didn't mind Nemo because its characters, they are promoting education about sea life.
Right.
Okay. Didn't mind Turtle Talk with Crush, which actually that was the first one. It came along in 2004. Living Seas Pavilion didn't become Seas with Nemo and Friends till 2006, and then El Rio del Tiempo became Grand Fiesta Tour in 2007.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I didn't mind that because even with Turtle Talk with Crush, they were taking the time to give educational facts about sea turtles. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you stay to the original feel of Epcot, it's like the World's Fair concept.
Sure.
The learn about the world, learn about the future. You keep you put characters on that and still keep to that, I'm good. It's just when you say, oh, well, hell with the real country, let's bring in fictional landscapes. That's where I have the problem.
Kristen, what are the positives?
Other than it bringing more people to the park?
Other than bringing more people to the park.
Might change the flow of the park some.
Yeah, definitely could. You see the comparison here of the when we talk about the losing of an identity of a park? because of characters and then the positives of the characters, you see where on the scale of things, how one is more than the other as far as what Epcot means.
Mm-hmm.
There's not that many. It's bringing more people to the park. Like Kristen said, the flow of the park's a little bit better. But it's not what Epcot is about. You see what I'm saying?
Now, if you want to, go ahead.
Had said completely with how they integrated the characters in to the attractions that have characters. It still stays true to what that attraction is supposed to do. I agree 100%. If Disney does that, decides we're going to bring Guardians of the Galaxy into Epcot, hopefully they find a way to make that work and continue to be true, and they don't make it just about, the characters. But honestly, I think if Disney's thinking about doing anything Marvel at some point, I think maybe it's time to wait and wait till we can get our hands on Universals, the rights to have those.
Mm-hmm.
And there we can have our fifth gate.
Yes.
Because you can do so much with the Marvel world that's what they need to wait on.
Mm-hmm.
The sad thing is, what happened? Oh, my back? Okay.
Yes, you're back.
I thought I disappeared.
That's not the sad point, is it?
Okay. No, that's not the sad part. The sad part is, I think that if Disney continues on the road that they're going, you've got to change the name to the park.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be changed. It's no longer Epcot
Mm-mm.
in any way, shape, or form. Because what's Guardians of the Galaxy going to teach me? That we need to clean up space junk because there's so much of it out there? And there's a bunch of it. Orbiting our world, there is a ton of space junk up there. Is that what you're going to teach me? Is that what's going to keep with the theme of Epcot, of Future World, and what you're supposed to be learning in the experimental prototype community of tomorrow? What is it you plan on doing with Interventions now that you've gutted one of them completely and you've got characters over there and you've got Starbucks? Don't get me wrong, I love Starbucks. It's great.
CYA, dude.
But the other side of it, you've got 2, 3 top exhibits that are functional. Some of All Thrills is still there, but doesn't have any sponsorship anymore. It's still there.
Make that Guardians of the Galaxy.
So, changing the name of the park is the only other option. Or, I love Kristen's idea, wait.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Quit gutting attractions just to stick in a character that's popular. Stop gutting an attraction like you did with Maelstrom and throw an attraction just because it brings in a few people. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Wonders of Life Pavilion, please think of something.
They have
food
thought of
attraction
something.
in there.
Oh, that's a good idea. Food attraction. Ooh.
Bring back Food
attraction.
Rocks. There you go.
Ooh. Food rocks.
The Kitchen Cabaret.
Kitchen Cabaret. Good old days of the 80s from Epcot Center. Are you kidding me? Heck yeah. People love that stuff. Retro? Heck yeah. Bring it back.
Look at all the people that went back to see Captain EO.
Seriously.
I mean, it was
one of them.
packed. That place was packed. Why not bring those back, at least for a little while? Get some people coming in there and something.
Yeah. But I joke, but really, nostalgia only takes you so far.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying
Yeah.
bring it back for a long time.
Yeah.
I
That's
didn't
true.
say bring it back for 6 years, but
Yeah. 6 months, maybe.
I understand what they're doing when it comes to Hollywood studios and Star Wars and what they've done with Pixar. Okay, I understand it. I get it. I understand with Avatar, why it's going into Animal Kingdom, what it contributes and brings to the park. I get it. I understand what they did with the expansion of Fantasyland and what it brought to the park. I get it. I don't understand what the purpose of, just because it needs to be somewhere, you put Frozen in the World Showcase and you've got a line from Norway to China for people to get on the attraction. I don't understand.
Literally.
What? Literally, that's the line. I don't understand what the point of that is and how that contributes to Epcot. You're not watching the video. I'm using the quotations. Epcot.
It doesn't. That was my whole point.
I just, because Epcot is one of my favorite parks. Kristen, what do I do first thing when I get into Epcot? What is the first thing I do?
Spaceship Earth.
Thank you. I love Spaceship Earth. You rip that down, I swear to God Almighty on this earth, I'm going to go into a Hulk rage. I will go into a Hulk rage if you tear that thing down. I love it. But Disney, oh my gosh, I hope that you are listening, because I don't think you're killing Epcot. I don't think you're killing it, but you're taking away Walt's dream of Epcot a piece at a time. You're taking it away.
It's a slow death. You can save it.
You can.
You can. I think there's a way that you can get people into the parks. If you want to bring in characters, that's fine, but keep the feel. Keep the spirit.
Eric, give me a final thought on the future of Epcot.
It's going to become Fantasyland South.
Are you talking about just the World Showcase?
Probably. I mean, it is south, right? Yeah, it is south.
It is.
Yeah.
It's south of Fantasyland. But
South
yeah,
of
it's Fantasyland South, and that's the first step that they've taken on it.
Oh, my God. Oh, Kristen, a final thought on Epcot.
I'm going to be optimistic and say that the Imagineers, they're going to think this thing through, and they're going to do the right thing and keep with the theming of Epcot, and it being future world, being about science and technology and those kinds of things. I think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to go against that.
I would hope not. I love a comment in the chat room. It says this: Walt called and he's pissed. He's upset. He called from the cryogenically frozen tube and he's upset. Because that's the conspiracy theory that a lot of Disney, anti-Disney fans have. Walt's still alive. He's cryogenically frozen. Or his head is still alive, And he's pissed off.
Yeah, they had it stored in Club Cool for the longest time,
Yeah. Why do you think you have to drink so much Beverly while you're there?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
That's what it is. It's a preservative.
Exactly. I seriously do hope that when it comes to Epcot, and I've said it many times, I'm going to say it again during the show, the experimental prototype community of tomorrow, I hope it stays true to that in some form or fashion. If you're going to put Guardians of the Galaxy in, I really hope it's educational for kids and not just Groot running around blowing crap up.
Can we put Groot in the land?
If you're going to, that would be a good spot.
Stick him in Living with the Land in that rainforest segment where you pass by. He could just wave. I am Groot. I am Groot. I am Groot.
I don't know. We hope and we pray that we understand.
I'm telling you, if they bring it, it's going to be about the technology that's needed to make talking raccoons.
She's going with raccoons. I'm going with space junk.
Mine's all science.
I would say the future of space travel, but that's already next door.
And we're already talking retheming or heavy refurbishment for Mission Space. That's in the works.
I say if they're bringing in Guardians of the Galaxy, it's as a refurb of Mission Space.
Okay. We've had a good discussion on this. This has been fantastic. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Okay, so what I need for you guys to do as listeners and as viewers, whether it be on YouTube down in the comment section, remember, comment, like, always important on YouTube. What do you think is the future when it comes to Epcot? If you're listening via iTunes or you're listening via Stitcher, you can send us an email over wdwafterdark@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts, or you can even tweet us at WDWAfterDark on Twitter. Let us know what you think the future of Epcot is, and if it's dead. If you think it's dead, tell us that. Okay? Going to wrap things up. I'm going to start with Mr. Eric Allen. Of course, we already know where we can listen to you. Mighty Marvel Geeks, the Sorcom Review. Where can they find you as far as social media goes?
On social media, you can find me in 2 different places on Twitter. You got at Sorcom Review for Disney-related shenanigans, and for more general Weisenheimery, at Uncle Servo. You can also check out the Sorcom Review's Facebook page. Where else on Facebook? And also give me a shout in the Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone, which is also on Facebook.
There you go. Wonderful. Kristen, where can everybody find you on social media?
On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, all those lovely places. It's Dining at Disney, except for YouTube. It is The Dining at Disney. The Dining at Disney. Quick reminder, Make sure you check out Dining at Disney podcast. Make sure you check out Mighty Marvel Geeks podcast. Make sure you check out the WDW Tiki Room podcast. And you can find me on social media when it comes to Twitter at DW_60. Also, Jeff Davis _75. Got 2 different places. Also, like Eric said, in the Fun Zone over on Facebook. And then I've got DW60 Thursday mornings, 8 a.m. Eastern time over on Sorcerer Radio. And it happens at 8 a.m. Eastern over at srsounds.com. Any final thoughts from the rest of you guys before we close up the show? I've got nothing.
One final thought. If characters can raise interest in scientific and more educational pursuits, that's a plus too.
Okay. I like that. Hopefully you guys watch the show, listen to the show, like the show, comment on the show, subscribe to the show when it comes to YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, all that stuff. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your feedback, your comments, all that stuff. And we hope that you can return next week. We'll have another show coming. We'll probably have some Disney news or another Disney discussion. It just depends on what happens with the parks and stuff like that. So myself, Kristen, Eric, we're so appreciative of you guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the show. We'll see you next time. And always remember, it's always better after dark. Take care.